Liam, first of all, congratulations on your role.
Thank you very much.
This film has been compared to Phantom of the Opera. Is that a fair comparison?
I think it's fair only in as much as the main character, the Phantom, and the Darkman conceal their appearance. And there it stops, I think. And the Phantom was it was about obsession and warped love, and the Darkman is a mixture of fantasy and science fiction, and pays homage to all those wonderful old early films of the 40s and 50s of scientists working in laboratories and Frankenstein. It's actually there's more to. It's got more similarities to The Shadow. Do you remember that comic book character, Cranston Lamont? And I think Jekyll and Hyde, certainly the Spencer Tracy one, and Hunchback of Notre Dame, I think, with Charles Lawton.
In this movie, you are covered up a lot of the time. How difficult is it? Because so often we depend on our facial expressions to get feelings and emotion across, but when you can't see the face, you have to rely on gestures, I assume.
Yeah. Well, but the thing, the hurdle for me to cross was, once I had all this stuff on, was for me to believe this was my face, that it's not makeup, it's not 5 hours worth of putting prosthetic rubberized makeup on. So once I accept it, then I believe an audience will accept it. This is really my face, you know. And a couple of times I had to remind myself, you know, that I'd want to scratch or something, and, you know, wasn't able to, and would catch myself in the mirror, like trying to get rid of a scratch might be there, and I'd be doing something with my face and say, oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that's what happened when it creases up there or something. You know?
Was it uncomfortable?
It wasn't, no. Actually, nowadays they've got all that prosthetic makeup down to, it really is like a fine art. They've got these very sensitive glues and removers, and my skin's very sensitive, so I had to have all this stuff. So my bathroom now looks like an apothecary shop. I mean, I could tell any 17-year-old girl what's right for her skin, or, do you know what I mean? I've got this row upon row of stuff, you know, because I was essentially makeup for 5 months, so you really had to take care of your skin, especially removing the stuff.
What about your character itself? You start off as Dr. Peyton Westlake, who's a very warm and caring and loving sort of a person, and you go through all of these emotional changes to the point of violence as the Darkman. How did you stay in character, yet at the same time achieve all of that?
I don't really know. I just went with the story. I believed in the story and accepted it. I admit it was very, very theatrical, which I liked. That really appealed to me, that whole theatricality of the role and the story. That it's not about a little real life, nitty-gritty, you know, fable set in 1990s. It's theatrical. It's kind of operatic in its scope. So I believed in that and accepted it, and I just went with it. Just went with the swing of it, and went with Sam Raimi's direction. And that was the best way to do it. You know, he and I got on really well. We occasionally would compromise over a certain scene or something, but it was wonderful. He was great to work with, and the more the film went on, the more he trusted me to enact what he had in his mind. So towards the end of the film, we actually had very little communication. It would be kind of a look and maybe a bit of that, or like little signs like that. So we'd kind of know what each other meant.
You have such a wonderful accent, wonderful Irish accent. Thanks. Can you do American for me?
What now? You'll have to pay your $6. Right. Well,
do you find it difficult to change your accent in the different roles?
I have a fairly good ear, and I usually, if I approach a role whereby he's not Irish or Scottish, will always employ the help of a voice dialect coach. And because it's if you're going to do it, then you should do it right. So for Darkman, Peyton Westlake is essentially American. I didn't want to root him into Iowa or Kansas or wherever, you know, just to give it a general American accent without being too heavy and overstated. And enough just to lose my own Irishness, you know.
Oh, don't lose your own Irishness.
No, I don't want to, but for that it was, I think with a name like Peyton Westlake, and then to be Irish would have been, it would have stuck a spanner in the works, I think. And yeah, and it was a conscious decision and a right one, I think.
What are we going to see you in next?
I've got a film coming out called The Big Man, directed by David Leland, who directed a film called Wish You Were Here, among other things. And it's a story about a Scottish miner, gold miner, who gets inveigled into having a bare-knuckle fight with another opponent for money and for respect and to keep his family together. And it's a very, very nitty-gritty film. I'm trying to think of a comparison. I can't. It's got shades of On the Waterfront, and so that's coming out in Los Angeles in December, and will screen nationwide in America, I think January, February '91.